What if every car ran on electricity? Imagine waking up on a seemingly ordinary morning, stepping outside, and realizing something feels different. There's no roar of engines, no clouds of black exhaust, no familiar scent of gasoline in the air. Instead, there's an unexpected calm, clean air, and cars gliding by almost silently, as if floating across the pavement. This isn't a dream. It's a glimpse into a world where every car on Earth runs on electricity. A world without gas-powered vehicles would change everything, from the air we breathe and the sounds we hear each day, to urban infrastructure, the auto industry, and how we get from place to place. But would this mark a great green leap forward? Or would it present enormous challenges involving energy, resources, and the environment? Let's explore this hypothetical scenario. What would really happen if every car on the planet were electric? In today's world, transportation is one of the largest contributors to air pollution. Gasoline and diesel vehicles emit billions of tons of CO2 annually, accounting for nearly a quarter of global greenhouse gas emissions. But that's not all. They also release nitrogen oxides, NOx, a major cause of respiratory diseases like asthma and bronchitis, as well as fine particulate matter, PM2.5, that penetrates deep into the lungs and bloodstream, posing serious public health risks. If every car on Earth switched to electric, the harmful emissions from transportation would nearly vanish. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, air pollution is responsible for around 7 million premature deaths each year, a number that could drop significantly in a world without tailpipe emissions. In heavily polluted cities like New Delhi, Jakarta, or Los Angeles, replacing internal combustion engines with electric vehicles could dramatically improve quality of life. People would breathe more easily, children would suffer fewer respiratory infections, and older adults would face lower risks of strokes and heart disease. Streets would feel fresher, and cities could finally breathe again after decades buried under smog and exhaust. This wouldn't just be a technological milestone, it would be a monumental victory for public health. Electric vehicles not only help clean the air we breathe easier, but they also pave the way for quieter, more livable cities. One often overlooked impact of modern transportation is noise pollution, those constant mechanical sounds that millions of people living in dense urban areas have grown used to. The roar of engines, the rumble of trucks, buses, and motorcycles, it's a daily background soundtrack that persists day and night. This noise disrupts sleep, raises blood pressure, lowers concentration, and can even harm mental health over time. When all vehicles run on electricity, engine noise virtually disappears. Urban traffic becomes smoother, calmer. Pedestrians feel safer, and children can play outside without the stress of constant noise. The natural sounds of life, birds chirping, wind rustling, people chatting, begin to return as part of the city's soundscape. But it's not just sound that changes, so does urban space. Cities once swallowed up by cars and smog can be redesigned with wider sidewalks, more greenery, and walkable neighborhoods. Quiet transportation opens the door to a new model of urban design, one where people, not vehicles, are at the heart of every decision. This isn't just a technical shift, it's a revolution in how we feel and live in the city. Now, if every car on Earth were electric, the demand for electricity would surge dramatically. According to various estimates, fully electrifying personal vehicles in the U.S. alone could raise national electricity demand by 25 to 30%. Globally, the increase would be even higher, requiring massive upgrades and smart management of power grids to meet new energy needs. The first challenge lies in transmission. Traditional power grids, built mainly for residential use, would need to handle millions of new charging points at homes, parking lots, and highway stations. If too many vehicles charge simultaneously, especially during peak hours, localized blackouts and overloads could occur. Moreover, current battery storage systems aren't yet efficient enough to hold large-scale energy reserves, making supply-demand balance more difficult. Yet within this challenge lies great opportunity. A global shift to electric vehicles would accelerate investment in renewable energy. When powered by solar, wind, or hydropower, EVs become clean not only at the tailpipe, but at the source. Even more promising, electric cars of the future could act as mobile batteries, storing excess energy during the day and feeding it back into the grid at night, helping to smooth out supply fluctuations. If properly integrated, EVs could become a key component in a smarter, cleaner energy ecosystem for the future. Electric vehicles can't exist without batteries, and batteries themselves are one of the biggest challenges on the road to global transportation electrification. Producing a single lithium-ion battery pack for an EV requires dozens of kilograms of rare metals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. As billions of gas-powered cars are replaced by electric ones, the demand for these critical resources will skyrocket, placing unprecedented pressure on the environment and global supply chains. Lithium extraction, especially in regions like South America and China, requires vast amounts of water and can lead to soil erosion and the depletion of groundwater. Cobalt, most of which is mined in the Democratic Republic of Congo, raises serious ethical concerns, as child labor and unsafe working conditions are still widely reported. And in the future, as millions of EV batteries reach the end of their life cycle, the world will face a mountain of e-waste that's difficult to manage without effective recycling systems. That said, battery technology is advancing rapidly. Solid-state batteries, with higher energy density, improved safety, and reduced reliance on rare metals, are receiving massive investment from leading manufacturers. At the same time, companies are developing closed-loop recycling systems that can recover up to 95% of materials from old batteries for reuse in new ones. Additionally, the green battery movement, focusing on less toxic materials and environmentally friendly production methods, is beginning to shape the future of mobile energy. Solving the battery challenge is the key to making electric vehicles truly sustainable. The shift from internal combustion to electric vehicles isn't just a technological upgrade, it's a powerful catalyst for global economic transformation. As EV demand surges, entirely new industries are emerging and growing at breakneck speed, creating millions of jobs in sectors that barely existed a decade ago. From high-performance battery manufacturing and electric motor assembly to the construction of ultra-fast charging stations and the development of self-driving software and AI systems, the electrification movement is fueling a massive demand for skilled, innovative, and adaptable workers. Meanwhile, traditional mechanical industries, those built around gasoline engines and complex drivetrains, are beginning to shrink. This shift demands that the workforce adapt. Millions of engineers, mechanics, and technicians will need to be retrained in areas like electronic control systems, smart vehicle programming, and charging infrastructure maintenance. The countries and companies that invest early in workforce development and reskilling will be the leaders in this new era of transportation. Electric vehicles aren't just a tech revolution, they're a driving force behind a complete industrial reorganization. We're seeing the rise of battery valleys, autonomous driving hubs, and smart charging ecosystems, signs of a new era where high technology becomes the foundation of sustainable progress. This is a golden moment for transformation, one that no one can afford to miss.